Hey guys, welcome to the Djokovic Tirante second round Cincinnati live stream. This is their first meeting. Djokovic serving first right away. He's under pressure at 15:30, but knocks off inside out forehand winner off a kick serve. Tirante is a very serious customer, guys. This guy can play. Not just on clay, but on hard court. I've discussed last week during Montreal that there's really no such thing as a clay court specialist these days. You know, these guys that might prefer clay, they still know how to ball on hard court. Thank you for signing up for Intuitive Tennis Ballers, Paul Briggs. I expanded my YouTube memberships to offer a little bit more. I got 3 separate memberships. But thank you, Paul, for joining. Guys, I'm going to start saying hit the like button early in the lives because that can help push the live. Djokovic 40-30, a very extended rally. It's very hot today. Djokovic playing at possibly the worst time. And a rally like that is going to be a test of Djokovic's physical capabilities at his age. I don't think it'll necessarily be a problem, but the conditions are absolutely brutal. And Djokovic there with a down-the-line backhand winner to hold the first game. And now you better believe it, Djokovic is going to put pressure on Tirante right here. Put my headphones in. I can't listen to a match on mute. Yeah, I tried in the beginning when I first started live streaming. It's just such a horrible experience. I need to hear it. Now, unfortunately, there's commentary. And it's tough to talk while listening to somebody else talk. So generally, there are streams with no commentary, which I love. But often enough, it's just, some kind of weird feed, the TV feed or whatever, and it's commentary on there. And it gets a little bit more tricky, but I have to listen to the actual match. I got to listen to it. I got to listen to the ball being hit, or it makes it so weird. And that's the thing about Tirante, you know, speaking of, clay court specialists, this guy has huge weapons, you know. Can put pressure on guys, got a huge serve, huge forehand. This will be an interesting test for Novak. There's an ace from Tirante, 2 monster serves here. 135, you see what I mean? Like, this guy is a monster serve. This guy packs power. You got 30 love. So happy that the rain delay wasn't extended. I looked at the map, and in all these years, I thought I was quite knowledgeable reading the radar, but I guess not. Living in Florida and trying to figure out when it's going to stop raining so I can teach lessons. I thought we were going to be toast for the whole afternoon, but sun is back out, and they weren't out for that long, relatively speaking, so glad, because we don't want the rain delays. Hey, Nicola, just wondering, what's Shamir doing with the purse of 97 since he's done with it? Want to know the truth? Look at this, 140 on the serve, Tirante. 140 ace. This guy can rip the ball. You guys want to know the truth, what I'm doing with those rackets for Shamir? Shamir is very busy, so I'm helping him to sell them because we can't get into it, but he already bought rackets. And as you guys know, the rackets nowadays, it's an absolute joke what they cost. It's ridiculous. The quality has gone down while the price has gone up. So, it's like $300 for a racket. And he already bought multiple and a bag, so he's out of a grand or whatever. So he wants to sell his percepts. He's got 4 of them or 5 of them. And I'm going to help him to sell them. On eBay. How many rackets do you suggest people to buy? I'd say 2 because, and here's the reason why I say it. I would have said 1 in the past, but depends on the level. So if we're talking about somebody that's just starting to play tennis, 1 is still going to be okay. But back in the day, you could, if you have a freshly strung racket, you could play with it and it'd be okay for a while. You can play with it until it pops and you get a restrung. Maybe you have an old racket as a backup. I would say it's okay. But nowadays, the strings have changed so much that you can't wait for the strings to pop anymore. Of course, I'm talking about poly strings. They've changed quite a bit, and you can't play with them until they pop. You've got to restring frequently. So for that reason, if you're restringing frequently, you need 2 rackets. And of course, if you're more advanced, you can have even more than that. I advise that having more rackets is better. And Djokovic from 40-15 to 40 all with some good tennis, but there he misses a backhand. He's not a happy camper there. Doesn't miss that many backhands, Djokovic. Let's add in. Guys, if you join the stream, hit like. Let's try to get this pushed out and recommend it to more people. Hit like on this stream. I had the Nightbot program to tell you guys to like, but if I say it, maybe it'll hit different. Beautiful stadium there in Cincinnati. And brutal conditions. One all. And there's a backhand pass from Tirante, low 15. Kind of drew Novak in with that slice. He had a short slice, a little bit in front of the service line, and Djokovic had to come in off of that. Not sure if that was intentional or not. Maybe, maybe not. And Djokovic gets dragged in again, this time by like a more of a mishit. And this time it's a beautiful counter drop shot. Or maybe that was an intentional drop shot. That's one thing that you should never do is hit drop shots on defense. It'll never work. Yeah, I'm not sure whether that was the intention there or not. It kind of looked like it, but from Tirante, Novak Djokovic ripped the forehand to the backhand corner. And you need depth, you need maybe height to be able to neutralize the ball. If you sometimes hit like a lucky drop shot, like an unintentional one, that can work. But an intentional drop shot of defense, it's not going to work. And Tirante with a monster forehand. I'm talking about monster. This guy can rip. Absolutely demolishes the ball inside out. 15-30. Novak tested both service games so far. Novak tested big time. And Novak is thinking right now, this guy can play. What's going on here? They've never played each other before. We'll go through Tirante's results on the changeover for you guys that are unfamiliar with him. We'll go through him. He had a little bit of a breakthrough in Houston. That's where he took out Ben Shelton in a super tight 3-set match. Tirante misses a forehand there, and then it's wiping his hand as to suggest that it's His grip was slippery. That was not a good looking forehand there. He smothered that thing. Maybe the racket did slip in his hand a little bit. Novak's last match was a semifinal loss to Sinner at Wimbledon. Straight sets, 4-4 and 4. And Novak, what he's so good at is like these 30-all points. Coming out with a big serve there when he needs it the most. It's just so incredible to watch. It's a huge one there out wide. And Novak holds to 30 but puts his arm up to the air. Something's not right. He's complaining a little bit. But nevertheless, 2 holds from being down 15-30. Maybe that's what it is. He's complaining that he has to come through a little bit of adversity in his service games. Or something's wrong with his racket. He's gripping it wrong. Look, the conditions are tough. You know, he's it's very, you get very sweaty out there. You're hot. It's tough. All right, let's get into the Tirante results now. And we'll try to get to know him better for you guys that don't know who he is. From Argentina. So, you know, guys like that, usually they like to play on clay. They'll play the South American clay season that's happening prior to Indian Wells. They'll go, you know, to Europe early. They play a lot of those tournaments. And in the past, there's been a lot of guys that didn't really play that well on hardcourt, but that's changed. Like even someone like Baez, like he beat Dimitrov yesterday. And he played so well on hardcourt earlier this year. And Baez, you know, if you saw him play on clay, you would think, oh, this guy's a clay court specialist. But like I said, no such thing as a clay court specialist these days. These guys can play on anything. And Tirante is ranked 50. He's 25 years old. He played pretty well last week, taking out Taylor Fritz. That's a big win. Lost in the 4th round to Tien, took out Popperin after he took out Fritz. Quarters in Bastad, lost 1st round of Wimbledon. 3rd round of Paris, lost to Carina Busta. That's a match that he could have won. It was 4th round of Rome. 3rd round of Madrid. And like I said, a breakthrough tournament in Houston where he beat Shelton in the quarters, lost to Burruchaga 1-1 in the semis. He was pretty tired. And Burruchaga played well in that tournament. And then prior to that, the results were pretty good. That quarters in Rio, 2nd round, Santiago's lost in the qualies at Indian Wells. They played Davis Cup for Argentina, which is a big honor. Yeah, and prior to that was some challenger. So that Houston tournament was a breakthrough for him, because he finished 25, 106 in the world, finished 24, 117 in the world, finished 23, 123 in the world, and then 22 he finished 225 in the world. So this is his first year in the top 100. And he got name recognition in the world of tennis by beating Shelton in Houston. And he's going to be a contender. This guy is a serious customer. Can absolutely blast the ball, moves well, huge forehand, you know, good defensive skills. This will be a test for Djokovic for sure. Maybe it'll take him a set to figure him out. I do expect Djokovic to come through this match, but I don't know. I got a feeling it might be tricky for Novak. On top of that, we've got the conditions that Novak can deal with just fine, but you know, that's down the road if he has a tough match here in the heat. That's not going to be good for Novak if he goes deep here. Like all these matches stacked up on top of each other, it can empty his battery quite a bit. And P. Le Pew asked a very good question. By the way, Djokovic with a return from like literally like from over here, and he makes it. And Tirante misses an open court volley. But that's a good question. Hey Nick, what these guys need to lose? Okay, hold on. Nick, these guys need to lose the respect for Joker and aim to take him out every match. It's not a question, it's a statement. And I agree with you. I agree with you. Like the way Fonseca has been coming out this year against the better players, like the way he came out against Sinner and Indian Wells, he was pumping himself up, and you know it's the right way to go about it. And there was a really interesting reel that I saw yesterday with Michael Berra, who was a great player, top 100 player, lefty. He played Nadal at Monte Carlo, and the coach told him, Claudio Pistolesi, who was also a former great player, told him to drop shot on the first point and fist pump. And that's kind of like the no respect thing. And I do think that's right, but more from a mental standpoint. I'll explain later. But what happened in this match with Berra is that he drop shot in the first point against Nadal, fist pumped, and then he was down 6-love, 5-love, 30-15 on his serve. So that's what happened. He like gave Nadal more motivation to beat him really badly. Tirante with a double fault at 40-30. But here's the important thing. A lot of players will lose a match to Sinner, Djokovic, Alcaraz prior to stepping on the court, okay? There's a lot of respect there, and it's no shame losing to those guys, and it's an honor even stepping on the court with them, all that. But if you have that mindset of, you know, you think that you don't have the belief that you're going to win, you're not going to win. So even if the belief is delusional, like even if you don't believe that you're going to win, you have no chance of winning. If you have the belief, even a delusional one, that you can win, it's going to give you better chances. If you think that you're not going to win, you have zero chance. Zero chance. So I always say, like, guys have to go into a match to win. It sounds weird to say that, but they have to go into a match to win. And it's not always the case. I'm telling you, this is a big thing. And I can't tell you who goes in to win or not. We can't see inside a player's head. I don't know. You can just kind of judge it on their body language and how the match evolves. But yeah, I agree with P. Le Pew. They have to go into that to win. And yeah, FAA against Novak, he went into that to win. And I'm seeing now more than ever younger guys, you know, going into matches to win. When they play Novak, I don't quite see it that much yet with Sinner. Alcaraz as well, but a little bit different with him. But with Sinner, I don't see it. I see a lot of guys don't have the belief that they can win. But with Djokovic now, more and more. Guys, hang on real quick. 1 second. Can you keep score? And here is another shank from Tirante. We're back at deuce. Djokovic extending this game. He's getting his teeth into this match. Djokovic is very beatable these days. Anyone can take him out on a good day. Well, if you look at his results, that certainly is not true, that statement. You know? If you take a look at who's been able to take him out, it's not anyone. It's just a select few guys, especially at the slam level. I think there was an outlier, that match against Fonseca. And Fonseca played the best match of his life. But it's just been Sinner and Alcaraz that have been taking him out at the Grand Slams. Yeah, there's been a couple other guys like Tabilo, 24 Rome, 25 Madrid. There's been Arnaldi, 25 Madrid. Vasharo, Shanghai. Yeah, I don't think can't make the statement it's anyone. Djokovic's been playing well. I mean, he's ranked in the, what is it? I don't even know his ranking, but he's like a top 5 player still. Prismic took him out, but Djokovic was sick in that one, though. He was. But yeah, no, you're right. There's now more belief that guys can beat him, and more guys will beat him. That's true. I understand what you're saying, but let's not ignore the fact that Djokovic has made, except one tournament, except one slam, he made every semifinal since, Since the 2024 loss to Popyrin at the U.S. Open. He's made every semi except that match against Fonseca, this year's Roland Garros. Every single semifinal and even a final this year. So let's give this older version of Djokovic the respect that he deserves, because, you know, out of all the things that he's accomplished in his career, what he's doing now at like 39 years old is like, it should be part of all his great accomplishments. I think it's unbelievable. But let's lock in on this match real quick, because Tirante hits an insane forehand return there and goes up love 15 on the Djokovic serve. And Djokovic with a grunt there gets pressed on that backhand wide. And Tirante tries a down-the-line slice backhand, which is not a bad shot, but he sailed it wide a little bit. And it's 15-all. Not a bad play there from Tirante. That would have been a tricky ball to run down for Djokovic. Let's see here. There was a... Nick, when will you upload the next episode of Art of Tennis Coaching? I got one, actually. You know, I'll put it up as an early release for the middle tier on the membership. It's already out on Intuitive Tennis Premium. It's been out there for a while. But I got another episode, yeah. I got another episode. It's been a little tricky recording with Carla because she's in med school. And she has zero time for anything. And she was teaching, actually, and that last year when we recorded that series, she was teaching about 20 hours a week of tennis. But then once she entered med school, she had to stop. Has no time whatsoever. Nice point there from Novak. Good approach shot, knocks off the overhead. The Djoko smash hits it pretty well there. And it's 40-15. You can just kind of like feel how this match is going to play out. I feel like Djokovic is going to hold, and he's going to find a little bit of a hiccup there from Tirante. He's going to get the break, and it's going to be straight sets. Tirante absolutely pulverizes the return of serve. And Djokovic was a good deflective shot. Holds the 15. 3-2. Djokovic pretty taped up. He's already changing his shirt after 5 games. He's got a shoulder taped up with, what do you call that? A kinesio tape or whatever. I don't know how you say that. But I need myself some kinesio tape right now because my shoulder is feeling horrible. I know what it's from, though. I went to the gym, and the gym sometimes can mess up my shoulder. I would be very interested to see how Djokovic. I would be very interested to see how a Djokovic versus Zverev match looks in 2026. I think Zverev has passed him now. It would certainly be very interesting. And how about we get that as the semifinal here? Because I think it's, yeah. Let me look, but I think Djokovic's on the top half. Could be a semifinal. Let's see here real quick. Zverev is on the PDF draw here. No, hold on a second. Yes. He's on top, yeah. It's going to be Zverev Djokovic semifinal. Djokovic would most likely play Arnaldi, who's up 2-love in the third on Landaluce. So remember I said earlier, Arnaldi was able to take out Novak in Madrid last year. So that'll be an interesting match. If Djokovic comes through this, Tirante again. He's got the firepower to be very dangerous. Incredible backhand from Novak down the line. And Tirante's applauding. That is some backhand right there. Let's look at it in slow-mo. Hits it from close to the doubles line. And just perfect down the line shot. His backhand is something else. 15-all. Double fault from Tirante, 15-30. That's the danger for Tirante. Just one hiccup on the serve, and good luck breaking Novak because he's so clutch. That's how sets can slip away from you against Novak. Two double faults from Tirante, his 15-40. Yeah, that's what happens. You know, this might be okay against somebody else, and you might recover from something like this, but against Novak, this is lethal. You know, dropping your level like this suddenly, you're done. You are toast. And a forehand drop shot error from Tirante. Goes into the net. Not a good position to hit a drop shot from behind the baseline. It's a break for Novak, 4-2. And the chances of Novak losing serve here when it matters is very small. Yeah, Dave, I agree. The courts now look really nice in Cincinnati, but I tell you what, maybe it's a bit too blue. I don't think it's good to have it too blue because then you lose the ball. It becomes more difficult to see. On the stream, I have my screen set up for, what do you call it? Like, what's that called? I forget now. But I got my screen set to like it's more yellowish, not as bright. It's supposed to be better for your eyes. And so on my screen on the iPad, I can see the ball way better than on TV because it's not as blue. It doesn't look as blue. It's more yellowish. That's a nice point there from Tirante. That's 15 all. Yeah, warm color tone. Yes, thank you. Appreciate you. And when you put that on your screen, you're going to see the ball better if it's a bright court surface. Now, the inside the court is not as bright, but the outside of the court is probably too bright. Now, in person, like if I'm playing tennis, I do like this. I don't have a problem seeing the ball. It's just that when I watch it on TV, not as good. And Djokovic misses a backhander off a very deep slice from Tirante, and it's 15-30. Djokovic out of breath after that point. You know, now that you say that, Dave, this tournament center court camera is not at ideal angle, so when the sun is overhead and bright, the glare on the court is bad. You can't see the ball well. Now that you say that, I do remember complaining about that last year when I covered Cincinnati. I do remember that. There's got something to do with like they can't mount the camera on one specific side or something. I don't know. And Djokovic rips the forehand inside in. The ball clips the tape, and it's 15-40. I do like the camera angle. I do like it. I think they've done a good job. Yeah, it's on the wrong end. Yes, Dave. I think that's what it was. And here's 2 break points for Tirante. Djokovic some big hitting there, and he draws the error from Tirante. And Djokovic is going to be gassed after this rally. It's going to be a physical test, this match, for Novak. $30-40, 1 breakpoint chance left. What a rally from Novak there. That slice was pretty good from Tirante. Again, the service line. Djokovic did not come to the net there. But then Tirante gave him one backhand that was short and high, and Djokovic punished that severely with an inside-out forehand blast. And Djokovic down to his knees a little bit. He's going to be physically tested here, Djokovic. He's already gassed, guys, Djokovic. But I don't think it's going to be a problem, though. He'll come through this one. I don't think, yeah, Pew, Novak is on the verge of getting gassed, 100%. 100%. I don't think there's anything you can do after a certain age. Like, it's just, yeah, in this climate, I don't think there's anything you can do. Because I think Novak, you can make the argument, is the best athlete out of any sport at this age right now. But tennis is so demanding in these conditions. It's only human to get out of breath, you know. But Djokovic's recovery is strong still, so it's not saying it's going to have an effect on the match. It has to be many matches in a row and an opponent that's very challenging, like an Alcaraz Sinner, where the fatigue kicks in and hurts him, because this is just, you know, in the context of a tennis match, Djokovic will be able to recover in between the points. But for sure, this is not a problem that Novak Djokovic had when he was younger, even though he didn't like the heat. There was a different problem. There was just him being like, it's more like this, how do you say, like, I'm not going to say a heat stroke, but it was more the effects of the heat. But the rallies themselves, this is very recent that Novak Djokovic started getting gassed like this, maybe the last 2 years or so. Okay, guys, just real quick, I'll be right back. You stay right there, okay? I think she's here. What's the best way to avoid getting gassed in these conditions as a rec player? I think you got to do whatever you can. I think what's been helping me, and this is not even on a tennis court, and I know this is so obvious and a lot of you guys do this, but I never did this because I never needed to. But when I attempted to play matches last year on 3 or 4 occasions, and before I got hurt, and by the way, I do plan to play again, I had such horrible physical problems. In the match against Andre, in both of the matches against Andre, I never felt like that on the court again. So I was like, you know, I got to start taking this more seriously, because I was so gassed, like really bad. So like on the paddleboard, for example, I'll take a cooler with me just so I don't overheat and get like a headache afterwards. And I'll put the hat in the cooler and just cool my head like all the time, like every few minutes or so. And I think that can help a lot to make you feel better on the court. So the body, you got to keep the body cool. I think the body overheating is what's gonna cause problems. Tirante really ripped that forehand there into the bottom of the net that time. He's got a lot of speed on the forehand. So anyway, that's certainly something you can do. And then, you know, seek the shade on the changeovers. I don't know, just keeping the body cool. I've talked to some doctors, and it's just the heat. The body overheats. Now, as far as like getting out of breath, that's a whole nother thing. We can't get into that now, but that's a whole nother subject. That's something that you gotta get yourself in tip-top shape. You know what I mean? Independent of age, and then just know that the older you are, the quicker you're gonna get out of breath, generally speaking. But that's more something that you gotta take care of and keep working out, keep playing tennis. Here's another thing that I can give you as a tip. Don't stop playing matches. Djokovic 30-40, break point, chance for a double break and the set here. Don't stop playing matches, because matches is where you are tested to the max. And it's hard to replicate not only the mental, like there's the emotion, like how you're going to feel emotionally. Oh my goodness. This forehand is so insane from Tirante. He just hit a winner through Djokovic. Take a look at this in slow-mo. He hit this winner through Djokovic. He absolutely, Djokovic was standing right here. I'm not kidding you. Here, and the ball went here, and it was still too fast for him to react. Unbelievable. 120 mile an hour forehand from Tirante. Insane. Absolutely insane. Let's finish this game and then I'll continue talk about what I was talking about before. And then he overhits. See, the thing is with Tirante, maybe he's hitting too hard. You know, it's if he's gonna spray like this, he hit one in the bottom of the net in this game and one like way long. That's the thing about tennis. Like faster is not better necessarily. And a monster serve there from Tirante to save. Set point. It's 40-all. Let's finish this game. I'll get back into the match talk and getting into shape and all that, and heat and all that stuff. And Tirante misses a backhand long. Second set point for Djokovic. Or is it the third? I'm not sure. Third set point. Okay, my bad. That's a big serve from Tirante, and he overcooks the forehand again. He, try to get a little too close to the line, misses it wide, aiming inside in. Here's the set for Djokovic, 6-2. Okay, back to what I was talking about before. Like, the ultimate test is a tennis match for so many reasons. Not only mentally, but also like physically. Because in a match, you're going to try, even subconsciously, like you're going to try a little bit harder than you would if you were to replicate the match scenario. You're going to go all out because you want to win really badly. So that puts your body at a much different test than anything else. So if you don't play matches, you are not being tested to the max. And you will not know, how fit you are, in other words. Of course, this is like, we're talking a little bit more of a nuanced thing now. Of course, you can know if you're not fit, if you're getting exhausted very early, or if you're getting exhausted in practice, but it's plausible to believe that you could be completely fine playing a practice match and going through drills and practicing and being in good shape, and you come to a match and all of a sudden you find yourself completely gassed out and you find yourself completely like at the limit physically. Why? Because the match takes a toll mentally and it takes a different toll physically. I can tell you that one of the most important muscle groups for tennis players are the legs. When you have strong legs, you have better foundation. It's going to help your. It's not all about footwork and speed. It's your strokes are going to help by the legs, right? And when you play a match, the legs are used more than anything else that you can imagine. No drill can replicate the amount of work the legs do when you're playing a match. I can tell you that as a coach with experience over 30 years. The legs are tested the most in a match. So for that reason, you got to play matches. And you got to keep playing matches. Even if you're someone that played in college and played tournaments and you stopped, keep playing matches because you will lose your legs if you don't. No matter how much you go to the gym, no matter how much you do drills, I'm telling you, the legs are tested differently in a match. And I can tell you personally, like my leg muscles have atrophied quite a bit since I stopped playing tournaments, like 2016. And I've done, work in the gym, and I do squats, and I try to keep my legs strong. But again, the work the legs do in a match, nothing comes close. So you got to play matches. Do I think Djokovic lives with chronic pain? I think he like everybody else is constantly feeling something. So probably yes, but for sure not to the same extent as a Rafa. Nowhere near. But yeah, now Djokovic always he never talks about it, but if you listen to his interviews carefully, there's always something going on. He gets injured a lot, and it's not like acute injuries where he's out for months, but there's always something going on with Novak body-wise. And no tennis player is safe from this. It's just the nature of the game. You can't avoid it. Tweener from Tirante doesn't work. He misses it wide. It's 15-all. Yeah, Clifton, that's so true. And also, it's true that even if you do drills that replicate scenarios in a match, even if you play practice matches that are very heated, and it still doesn't replicate the real match scenario. That's like the mystery of tennis. So that's why I say, even if you work your legs like crazy, you're not going to work them the right way, because you're not conscious of how you're working your legs in a match. It's just happening automatically. And it's all about like you trying to win very badly, that you end up using your body in a different way. And so, a lot of people put a lot of thought in different exercises, different drills, fitness, this and that. But you know what one of the greatest things is for tennis? Is playing matches. It's one of the greatest ways to train for tennis, is to actually play matches. Now look, we can talk for a long time about how to train and how to improve, and that's not obviously the right solution, because tennis is quite complex, and you're not going to improve your strokes in a match necessarily if you have technical flaws. So it gets way deeper than that. But I hope you understand what I'm saying. And here's 15-40 breakpoint chances for Tirante in the first game of the second set. Double fault from Djokovic. A big serve from Novak saves the first one. 30-40. How many guys Novak Djokovic has seen? That's an interesting thing. Like, he's been on tour for so long. He's the GOAT, right? He's been playing for 20 years. How many guys he's played, and how many guys have come and gone? And he plays a guy that he's never played against before. And I think he's got him figured out, or he's still figuring him out, Obviously, Tirante very talented, but that's the thing with Novak that people don't talk about enough, is like how he's able to get to the opponent and figure them out, and like ends up being better than the opponent in the most important stages. Like, I hope he's more vocal about that once he retires, so that we can all learn from him, because I find that quite fascinating. And unsurprisingly, he saves both break points, and it's deuce. A very strong kick serve from Djokovic on the deuce side, down the tee. And then a strong backhand approach shot down the line. He comes to the net. Let's add in. Yeah, think about it, Dave. Like, how many guys have come and gone, and how many guys has he played? Many different guys. That's crazy. You know, it's got to be, I don't know, how many matches has he played? It's got to be 1,000, right? And then you combine the junior career, and all together it's just it's an entire life dedicated to beating guys at tennis. So it's crazy. Yeah, for sure, over 1,000. Yeah. And there's a hold from Djokovic. 1-love. Second set. Let's take a look around the courts and see what else is going on. Landaluce ends up taking out Arnaldi. Can you believe it? Arnaldi was up a break in the third. So Landaluce will play Djokovic next if Djokovic comes through this. Koboli beats Kecmanovic in 3. Blocks beats Navona in straights. Hwalenska with a 2-2 victory. Nice to see Maya win a match. Her first win since Roland Garros. I hope she plays a lot of tournaments now because she's barely played any tennis. I know she's been injured, but no, those are a couple of rough-looking net shots there from Tirante. Volley. It didn't look like he hit it with good feel. Kind of stiff-armed that thing. Though you do want stability on the volley, but that looked very, very stiff there. And then a backhand overhead into the bottom of the net. Yala and Simova play next. We talked about that. And nothing else has been happening so far right now. McNally down a set to Kalinskaya. And we got Schneider up a set against Maria. I know Zverev's supposed to play later, right? Night session. A double fault for Tirante. Love 30. And Djokovic is kicking himself for missing that forehand. He was trying to put more shape on it. He hits it a tad long. You can see Novak taking these deep breaths. He's bent over right now. He's for sure feeling the conditions. Menchik and Bellucci. 6-5 first set on serve for Menchik. And we got Noskova too playing Bolter. That's going to be an interesting match. Noskova has not won a match yet since winning Wimbledon, but she only played one tournament. And just 15-40 for Novak. There's some very good backhands in that rally. Draws the error from Tirante. Djokovic goes down the line with the backhand, but misses it wide. 30-40. He's not happy about missing that thing. Hit it just a tad late. Didn't commit to it either. Steered it a little bit. Monster serve from Tirante, but Djokovic chips it back. And let's see if Djokovic misses a backhand again. And it's a very strong point from Tirante there. Beautifully constructed. He just kept putting the pressure on Djokovic. And saves both break points. 40 all. Beautiful point from Tirante there. Earlier this game, he hit a couple of poor shots at the net, but there with a beautiful backhand drop shot volley winner off a forehand inside out approach or just down the line. Good hands up there. And Djokovic complaining. That's an incredible hold for Tirante there from 1540. That's 1 all. Djokovic overhits the backhand, long, low 15. A much better down the line backhand from Djokovic there, but a fantastic defensive shot from Tirante. Forehand on the run, goes very deep. And Djokovic misses the pickup backhand shot, and it's love 30. Oh, that's a slice that Tirante wishes he can have back. Djokovic hits a great wide serve. Tirante returns into the backhand corner of Djokovic, who, oh no, it was more central, but Djokovic hits a backhand. And it doesn't appear that he made enough room there. Hit it a little bit too close to the body, ended up hitting the ball down the middle instead of cross court. And Tirante was there with the slice, but overhits it long. $15.30. Double fault for Djokovic. 1540. And if you just look at Djokovic's face, he's not looking that great physically right now. But look at this. Down 1540, drops an ace down the tee. You know, Djokovic only won this tournament 3 times. Now, when I say only, it sounds ridiculous, but he won Cincinnati 3 times. which, you know, not as often as some of the other Masters 1000s. Oh, the ball went in off a good serve from Djokovic. There's a tricky return. Djokovic, it's a running forehand shot on the line. And now they're in a backhand cross-court exchange. Djokovic goes down the line and saves both break points. This guy is something else. And he goes down to his knees. Djokovic is gassed, officially gassed. Well, not quite yet. When you see him go like this to his knees, with the palm to his knees, that's gassed. Not 100% gassed yet. Again, Djokovic refusing to miss on his own service games when he's in trouble. He's playing perfect tennis. And that's what makes this guy so unbelievably difficult to beat. Therein lies the difference. He's just clutch. Fantastic point there from Novak. Very heavy forehand down the line into the backhand corner of Tirante. Produces the error. Add in. Again, I don't think Novak looks great physically here. Novak goes for the ace down the tee, misses a little bit long. Second serve. Djokovic with some improvisational skills back there on the baseline. Attempts his favorite. Djokovic officially gassed. Djokovic officially gassed. Palm to the knee. I'm telling you guys, he hasn't been looking good for a while now in this match. And now look, if you're Tirante, you got to observe this and just lock in here. Lock in and just extend everything. So refuse to miss. Refuse to miss. And even that rally at add-in didn't look great from Djokovic. A bailout drop shot on the backhand. But then again, look at it. This is unbelievable. It's an ace down the tee. It's something else. Like, this guy could be close to death and he'll still win the clutch points. I'm telling you guys, like, this is not appreciated enough what he's doing at this age. And it's just, there's a lot of hate towards Djokovic, and you know, even if you don't like him, if you hate him, you still gotta appreciate his greatness. I feel, you know, it's crazy how clutch this guy is. And Tirante now putting the pressure. Great return. Gets a easy ball back and then rips the forehand cross court. For a winner, and we're back to deuce. Like, make this game a nightmare for Djokovic. Like, don't let him hold. Just keep annoying him. Go game point deuce, game point deuce. You know? Oh, it's 86 and 72. That's like Florida weather. It's a little bit hotter here right now, but it's like, yeah. You don't think Djokovic plays possum a little bit? I don't know that expression. What does that mean? Play possum. Explain it to me. I think I know what it means. It's like he's pretending to be tired. Is that what he's saying? Or injured? But explain that to me and I'll answer you. Djokovic with an incredible inside-out backhand. Winner, and it's add-in. Oh, is acting weak? No, absolutely not. Come on, stop. He's gassed. He's 39 years old. It's like, where did somebody put the temperature? And 72% humidity and 86 degrees. Listen, I've been living in Florida for 20 years. I know that everyone gets completely gassed in these conditions. It's only human. It's what will he gain now from faking this? Like, what will he gain? Like, get Tirante back into the match? He's up 6-2. So it makes no sense. Like, this guy does not simulate injuries, I'm telling you. Wow, Tirante makes that forehand. There's a nice inside-in forehand from Novak, and Tirante on a full sprint forehand winner. And here we have it. Break point opportunity number 3 for Tirante. He's had 0 breaks so far. Will he finally be able to break? Oh, Dave, thank you for the meaning of that phrase. Now I understand. Now I know it. I'll remember it. Thank you. Playing possum is pretending you're in trouble physically. Okay, got it. Because possums play dead. Are you kidding me with that forehand winner from Novak? What a cross-court rip. And he saves break point. And Djokovic warning, he's taking longer than the shot clock allows. Incredible tennis from Novak. What volley skills. Incredible volley skills. And he's down on his knees again. He's not doing well. But man, his net skills are unreal. And by the way, I remember when he beat Alcaraz here in, when was that? 2020, was it 23? Yeah, it was 23, right? When we beat Alcaraz in 23 Cincinnati final. He volleyed so well in that match. I won't forget that. He volleyed so well. Came in a lot. And that match meant a lot because Alcaraz cried when he lost that. You guys remember that? Djokovic there tries to Djokovic tries to blast from not a good position there, too far behind the baseline, misses a forehand into the net, and back to deuce. Do you think there's a subtle racism towards Slavic players? They don't seem to get the love they deserve? Well, listen, it's hard for me to answer that, but I can just tell you that it's not necessarily always This is a nightmare game for Djokovic here. It's just this game will not end. Deuce number 9. And guys, I don't know what you heard or what you might not have heard. My microphone died. He's not in a good physical state right now, Djokovic. He is really struggling, big time. But Tirante had that one breakpoint look there, do the backhand pass off a swing volley from Novak, and I don't know what you guys heard. I was talking about Slavic players. So let me know what was the last thing you heard on that. Oh, Djokovic with a great backhand volley, back overhead, backhand down the line, squash shot from Tirante, and Djokovic wins the rally. Can you believe that this guy is has so much willpower to win and is willing to do this to himself? You know what a nightmare this is right now? You know what this feels like to be in a service game like this with the physical torture that is what he's going through right now? And he's still willing to do this for no particular reason whatsoever. He's won everything that you need to win, including the Olympics. So this is how, I don't know, you like him or hate him, but you got to appreciate how much this guy fights. Oh, okay, with the Slav, you missed the whole answer to the Slavic player? Okay, all right. Maybe it's a good sign. Maybe I shouldn't talk about this. Maybe it's maybe it's good that it went out. Maybe this is like a sign that I should leave this topic alone, guys. And Djokovic holds. He holds. He is completely done physically. 17-minute game. An absolute nightmare, but that's how Tirante can maybe sneak away a win from Novak. You just gotta test him, and you're the younger guy, you're the fit guy, doesn't bother you so much the heat. And you gotta stay here. You can't allow Novak to break you. You just gotta make him work. And it's a medical timeout. Yeah, Pila Pew. I mean, it's a brutally way to write that, but the fact that Novak held this game, it's just a testament to his mental abilities and fighting abilities, and also his fitness too. Because he's not supposed to be doing this right here at 39 years old. Okay, so the question was, I don't even know what the question was. Whoever asked the question about Slavic players, rewrite the question and I will answer it. I'll answer it, guys. Now, look, here, one thing I want to say, though, about this, okay, he's getting treatment now, he's getting ice towels, he's getting something. So, if Djokovic recovers from this and starts feeling better, this doesn't mean that he was faking that before, okay? So, there is a way to recover in matches. There is a way to recover in tennis matches. It doesn't mean that the person was faking it before. Can you go into the AC with the MTO? Oh, that gets so complicated. I really don't want to get into that, but no. Do you think there's oh, okay, gotcha, Plaza Magic. Okay, let me get into that now. There's a medical timeout anyway. Do you think there's a subtle racism towards Slavic players? They don't seem to get the love they deserve. Okay, so that's the thing that's often said, and that even Novak said this, that the Western world is against him because he's from Serbia. So I can speak from experience because I'm Croatian, and we moved to Germany when I was 9 years old. So, even in Germany, even nowadays, some people, they don't really differentiate between Serbia and Croatia. It's like the same thing. Some people still call it Yugoslavia, believe it or not. So it doesn't matter whether I'm talking about Croatians or Serbians, okay? It's the same thing. And we felt nothing but love when we went to Germany. I didn't feel any discrimination whatsoever. Okay, so in the United States, same thing. I felt no discrimination whatsoever. People are nice, and that's just an anecdotal thing from my life. But all I can tell you is that what Novak is experiencing might be legitimate, and I'm not denying that, and I'm not saying it's wrong when he says that, but I'm often very careful when I don't want to generalize and say this is true, full stop. Because I remember that there was many beloved Serbian players. Živojinovic was very beloved. He was the guy that would he made the semifinals of Australian Open and Wimbledon, and he's the guy that Australian Open, when it was still played on grass, he, on a changeover, ate a sandwich and then took a drink from a guy. I don't know, he took a sip of a guy's drink. He was beloved. This guy was a showman. He was charismatic. He was beloved. How about Ana Ivanovic? She was beloved. Did anybody care that Ivanovic was from Serbia? No. And as I said, there's not a difference really between Croatia and Serbia and how people perceive those two countries. Most people. And how beloved was Goran Ivanišević? The guy was loved by everyone, especially in England. They loved this guy. The English loved Goran. So how do you say that there's a bias when it's not true for so many other players, right? So I think it's more on an individual basis why people like someone or don't like someone, because at the end of the day, the greatest thing about tennis is that it's a global sport. It's a unifying game, and we get to learn about other cultures. We get to know people from other countries if you play competitive tennis and you travel. And you make friends from all over the world, and that's what makes tennis beautiful. And I don't know about this bias towards certain countries. I don't know about that, because listen, I don't need to bring up names, but people love certain players or they hate them, independent of where they're from. That's all I'll say about that, and we'll move on to the next thing. Pickle juice, yeah, sure. That can help, definitely. That can definitely help, guys. Novak Djokovic has some kind of vest on him. It's an ice vest, I think. And here's the thing, I'm sure he's feeling better now. And he's feeling okay, but one long rally, and I think he's right back to where he was in that 1-all game. So it's of the utmost importance to keep the points as short as possible, but it's difficult. Tirante, on the other hand, looking top fit. No signs of fatigue whatsoever. "20 seconds left on the Djokovic medical timeout. And he's going to be as fresh as a daisy for a few minutes before he steps into that nightmare again. He's going to feel a lot better after this one. Trust me, this helps. Now, whether this should be allowed or not, you can make arguments for and against it. And here we go. Oh, really? That game was the longest game this year at Masters level tournaments. Really? Wow. There's a monster serve from Tirante, 15 love. I don't know if this is Djokovic's last Cincinnati. He'll probably play next year. I think he's going to call it quits 28 Olympics. So we probably got one more Cincinnati for Djokovic next year. You know, if he stays healthy, because you never know. Something else could happen that could derail his plan of retiring after the Olympics in 28. Which, by the way, is so close to Wimbledon this year. That's going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of players that choose not to play Olympics. And not that many who are going to say no to Wimbledon. And Tirante with the perfect hold here, 40 love. He's got a great opportunity here now. Love hold, Tirante. He can win this match. And just make it an absolute nightmare for Novak. Don't give him a single point. Just make him work. That's a good point. He might skip next year. Yeah, I'm surprised he's playing this year. That's a good point. I'm sure he'll have a similar schedule next year, maybe even lighter. And he certainly has earned the right to be very selective where he plays. And that's a mistake that Tirante cannot afford to make. Just to dump a forehand to the net like that. You can't afford to miss a shot like that, especially in the context here. You guys are talking about the Yala fans. I want to, the next changeover, I'll bring up a quick Yala fan story. They were so sweet. Like, it's just my observation, but I saw something that I want to point out. Remind me if I forget, okay? Djokovic with a double fault. He's ramping up the speed on that second serve because he doesn't want to run. He doesn't want to be put on the run off that Tirante return. Second serve again. Let's see if Djokovic rips again on the second. Another double fault for Djokovic. Again, he goes hard on that second serve. Djokovic is in trouble here, guys. He's in a lot of trouble here. Yeah, he's ripping seconds because he does not want to rally. Good on Tirante there to extend the point and fight, keep balls in play. Certainly it's going to help. And he even had a look to hit a forehand pass off that overhead. This is not an exhausting point, though, for Novak. He has to put pressure on Novak. He has to try to make Novak get into defensive positions. That's where he'll get him gassed again. But again, Novak's face, it doesn't look good right now. He's not in a good state right now, physical state. 30 all. Even after he misses a serve, like the way his body just kind of slumps down, it's not good right now. And there's Djokovic down on his knees, completely gassed out. After a double fault, mind you. Which I know doesn't make sense, but trust me, if you've been in these circumstances, even the serve action can get you out of breath. And there's 30-40. Yeah, Djokovic in a lot of trouble here. I don't see how he gets out of this match until he can recover somehow on the changeovers. Eat something, you know, I don't know. Maybe the clouds can roll in, be a little bit cooler, or something can happen. And he still managed. I don't get it. He still manages to save break point though, with a nice forehand inside in. That is insane. Tirante just cannot break for the life of him. 7 break points saved for Djokovic in the second set. And there it is, Djokovic with another swing volley, comes to the net, knocks off that high ball, and it's add in. He's about to go down to his knees again, Djokovic. This will be tough, guys. This will be very tough. Hi, Simone. Simone, what? Hold on, I'll put it down. Hold on a second. There you go, bud. And a monster forehand from Tirante, and Djokovic down to the knees again. A long rally there. Simone, I can't right now. Whatever it is that you need, I can't do it right now. You gotta wait. You have to wait, okay? Please. You wait. You wanna look outside? Here. Look outside. Come on. Second serve. And there's another breakpoint opportunity for Tirante. Absolutely smothers a couple of forehands, one inside out, one cross court, especially that inside out one. He really hit that hard. And breakpoint chance, and Djokovic now on the ground. He's on the ground. Yeah, I don't see how Djokovic can recover here. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't know how he can recover in this match. Like, he'll have to play. He has to rally and beat this guy. And I don't know. I don't see how he can do it. I'll be honest. At some point also, like, you are endangering your health to the point where it gets dangerous too, you know? Like, no matter how much of a fighter you are, oh my goodness. This guy can just not, he cannot break for the life of him. Serve and volley, and I'm sorry I'm laughing, but this is just so crazy. This is so insane. Serve and volley, he comes in, and it's just, he doesn't do enough with the return. It's tight, Tirante. And Novak with an easy volley, cross-court winner. 8th break point chance saved. Ace Djokovic. Game point. Wow. This guy is some fighter. It's crazy. And there it is, hold. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And now it's 3-2. Maybe if you can somehow sneak a break in there, hold a couple more times, maybe he can get through this somehow. It's crazy. T-Scored, no, I'm not familiar with that drink. No. Iron. No, never heard of it. I also don't drink yogurt. 50 minutes for 5 games this set. That's brutal. Absolutely brutal. What the? Oh. Crazy match. What's all the taping on Djoko for? Some kind of shoulder problems. Have you been to Del Potro's Academy? No, I haven't, but it's in Boynton Beach. Boynton Beach, Florida. At a place where it's like there's a ton of academies at that place. It's a country club. Like tons of academies have been and are at that place. It's kind of like a place to go to host your academy. And I've played at that place many times. It's too strong from Tirante there. Big serve. It's the forehand winner. You know, Tirante will eventually break, though. I don't think Djokovic can continue to get out of these service games like that because, you know, he's hitting so many double faults now. He's got 6 already. And he'll eventually break. You just got to stay focused. He looks as fresh as a daisy out there. So it's more of a question whether, you know, Djokovic can somehow win this match. It does not seem possible right now, I'll be honest. Yeah, Djokovic basically just, I'm not saying tanking, but he's conserving energy right here. That serve is humongous from Tirante. Humongous serve. Djokovic did not spend a lot of energy in that return game. None. And he'll be ready now to try to hold again. Ace for Novak. Out wide. In love. And that's a shot that Tirante cannot afford to miss there. Did not move his feet on that backhand, was too far away from it. Steers it long, 30 love. It's exactly what the doctor ordered for Djokovic. Basically, like no rallies in a game and a half now. And Djokovic gets a high ball to his forehand and misses into the net. 30-15. And another forehand miss from Djokovic, this time off a very deep return. Probably hit the line. It's 30-all. We got another tight moment in the service game of Djokovic. He's got to go through a second serve here. Do you think Djokovic might retire if he loses this set? I don't know. And Djokovic misses a forehand, not by much. It's 30-40. It's the 9th break point, and this time off a second serve. Let's see if Tirante can finally break serve. And there's a double fault. Break Tirante 4-3. 7th double fault for Djokovic. I don't see how Novak can I don't see how Novak can win this match, I'll be honest. I just don't see it. Not in this physical state. I just don't see it, guys. Okay, you got to give me 1 second here. The cat is driving me crazy. I got to feed the cat real quick. I'll be right back, okay? Hang on. Simone, stop it, for God's sake. 4-3 Tirante. Now Djokovic is done. Tank return there. He's toast. I don't see any possibilities of him coming back in this one unless there's some kind of, incredible physical recovery, which I don't see how that's possible right now. I thought this was going to be a problem prior to the match starting. Yeah, Djokovic is done. 40 love. Somebody is in Pula on vacation. That's beautiful. It's a nice place. Beautiful Coliseum there. That's it. Djokovic can try to tank this set. Maybe get some kind of other break somehow. Use everything that he can do to start feeling better, but I think he's done. I think Djokovic, I know, he's changing rackets. He's not done. This guy will play into his grave. This guy is not done. He changed his racket. It's not doing good, Djokovic, physically. Why would he even come to Cincinnati? I don't know. He knew it was going to be humid. And then I don't understand. Like, he skips every Masters, but decides to play this one. I don't understand the reasonings behind it, I'll be honest. Do you guys think that makes sense to play to Cincinnati? Like, he never plays anything these days other than Grand Slams. It made no sense to me. And he's 30 love somehow. With a down the line backhand winner. Djokovic, the body language is concerning, to be honest with you. I'm concerned for his health. I'm concerned for Djokovic's health. He didn't need matches last year before the US Open where he made the semifinals, so why would he need them this year? It makes no sense to play this tournament. Because of the weather conditions. That's why. Not because it's a tournament prior to the US Open. It's the weather conditions. This is probably, in my opinion, the two tournaments that are the worst in the whole calendar are Washington, D.C. and Cincinnati, and then maybe Shanghai, which I can't speak to because I've never been to Shanghai, but Washington, D.C. and Cincinnati are probably the two worst tournaments weather-wise. So I don't understand why he would enter here, because, you know, this has been a problem over the last couple of years for Novak. His body just, you know, he has limits. He has limitations now, body-wise. It's not the same as it once was. And you got the brutal combination of heat and humidity, which makes it very difficult. Hey guys, just real quick, 5 seconds, I'll be right back. I just gotta do something real quick. Hold on. The way Novak is returning was basically tanking the returns, which is understandable. It's not like some kind of, you know, some kind of diss on him. It's exactly what you should be doing. You got to preserve your energy, but Just don't see how he can win this match unless there's some kind of recovery. But there is. He's playing a little bit stronger in this rally. There you go, Djokovic putting pressure. Djokovic blasting. And Djokovic done. Again, he tried to go a little bit stronger in this rally, and then he was done there towards the end. 30 love. Credit to Tirante, though. He's holding strong here. He's played a very, very solid second set. Very solid second set. Another return error from Novak. It's 40 love. Okay, I got an interesting poll question. I'm interested to see what you guys think. Now there you go. Djokovic is going to go off the court. Change his clothes. Now, let me tell you something. If Djokovic somehow recovers here, and if he's able to play better and somehow comes away with this match and wins, there's going to be so many comments saying, "Oh, he's faking and he's his gamesmanship," and it's going to come. So the question is what can he do to recover his body? What helped Sinner in the match against Spizzirri is actually going off the court in the air conditioning and letting his body temperature go down. And now going off the court for Novak is 100% the right thing to do. And maybe he'll get a little bit of a boost from that. We'll have to see. Time for a little IV. It's not allowed anymore. I mean, it was never allowed during the match, but it used to be allowed after the match, but not anymore. Guys like Courier and those guys back in those days, they used to do IVs after matches. But it's not allowed anymore. Did Novak torture himself like this throughout his career? I'm his fan, but I would rather see him lose in good condition than win like this. Hard to watch him like this. Listen, this is the ultimate competitor. This guy is potentially one of the greatest, if not the greatest, athletes in the history of all sports. That's what people need to understand. His willingness to win is so unbelievably high. And of course, it was high with Rafa as well. He destroyed his body to be able to win. But Novak, in the context of what he's been able to achieve in his career, win everything. He's got more money than he can probably ever spend. He's won everything 2 to 3 times. He's doubled everything that he's won. He won the Olympics, which was the last thing that he needed. He did it in 24. And he still chooses to torture himself. Because let me tell you something. If you're ever try to play tennis in these conditions, and you can't compare it to other countries, it's got to be the humidity and the heat combined. And when you get out of breath and when you're struggling there, it is an absolute nightmare. It is hell. There's nothing fun about it. You're basically you're fighting. I'm not going to say fighting for your life, but it's horrible the way you feel. And this guy is still willing to put himself through this, and that deserves a lot of credit. Of course, it's tough to watch if you're his fan, but this guy brings entertainment to the table, and this match, I'm hooked to it. I'm super invested in it. I'm hooked to see whether Djokovic can somehow still manage to win this third set. And yeah, it's tough to watch him struggle physically, but I appreciate the fighting and the willingness to win a tennis match when you're not doing well physically. I really appreciate him doing this. He's basically doing it. I mean, look, there's probably multiple reasons, but one of the reasons is, and the fans, you know, the fans want to see this. They want to see him play. And he's trying everything he can to win matches, and that's got to be appreciated and applauded. It's incredible. So let's see what he can come up with here in the third. I think this break certainly will help him. He's going to be a little bit fresher than he was in the second set. But for me, what's questionable is the decision to play this tournament. It makes no sense to me. And you can't tell me like he's looking for matches. Novak doesn't care if he gets matches prior to a Grand Slam. He couldn't care less right now. And Novak at this stage, he'll play one match at a Slam or two matches, and he can play himself into normal shape. So it makes no sense to enter this tournament, which is like one of the top 3 most brutal tournaments conditions-wise. US Open's not as bad as this, especially in the second week. And especially at night where he gets put on, he's the night session often, so yeah, no, Tirante does that. You're right, Thomas. He's got a great chance of winning this. Huge chance. This was clear in the beginning of the second set. It was that game. What was that game? The 1-all game, right? Supposedly the longest game of any Masters at any Masters level tournament, where Djokovic saved what was it, 8 break points. That game destroyed Djokovic. That absolutely destroyed him. That game was his downfall. Let me see, what was it? I'll count the break points that he had. Hold on. And Djokovic held somehow. He had, hold on 1 second. Yeah, 1-all, 1-2. Hold on. 1-2, 1-2, 3, 4. Wait. 2-all game it was. No, was it? Am I going crazy? Oh no, wait. It was overall break points. No, it was the 1-all game, right? Yeah, no, it was the 1-all game, but it was only 4 break points for Tirante. He had 2 more here in this first game. I don't know, maybe my stats are wrong, showing me the wrong break points, because I thought it was 7 or 8. But according to this, it was only 6, which makes no sense. But anyway, that game destroyed Novak. Absolutely destroyed him. And let's see if he can recover from this little break here. Ian says Goat must retire. Really, he struggles in every match he plays this year, win or lose. That's not true. He was in the final of Australia. Didn't struggle there. He was in the semis of Wimbledon. Didn't struggle at all physically there. Even though it was hot, he was fine physically. It's not every match. It's some matches. And when you reach a final of a Slam and a semi of a Slam in one season, don't you think like he would like to continue to play? Those are pretty good results, right? Did he struggle like this during his career overall, or is it just the age? Well, I think when he first started, he never really liked hot conditions. When he was younger, he did retire from some matches and didn't do well in the heat, but he learned to adapt well to the heat throughout his career and became less of a problem. But in the last 2 years, I think just because he's older, at certain matches he's out of out of breath, and he's bent over to his knees and he's looking for breath. So it's just not, yeah, I mean, obviously it's heat related, but it's just more him running out of breath. Third set on the way. Djokovic serving first. And Tirante misses the slice, 15-love. Strong rally here from Djokovic to start this third set. Does the other player also struggle in the heat? This depends on the player. No, I don't think Tirante has any issues with the heat whatsoever. Tirante with the forehand return error, 30-love. Djokovic kicking the second serve in, which is a good sign. He was overhitting it in the second set. There he hits a backhand long up the line. Oh, by quite a bit long. 30-15. Djokovic with a sneak attack there, very smart move. That was a sneak attack. He moved in the slice movement of Tirante. That's a good lesson for everyone. Look, he ripped the backhand. He saw Tirante attempting a slice, started sprinting forward. It's too late for Tirante to change his shot selection, and Djokovic with the easy put away volley inside out, 40-15. A very poor game from Tirante just because he's so many unforced errors, and what's needed more than anything is just extended rallies, fighting for every ball, making Djokovic hit the extra shot. This hold right here was exactly what the doctor ordered for Djokovic. The coach Troitsky is yelling at Djokovic, telling him, not yelling in a bad way, but he's telling Djokovic to go through Tirante's backhand, to hit everything to his backhand. Not a bad strategy there, because that forehand from Tirante is absolutely brutal to deal with. So I liked what Victor said that to Novak. That makes sense, but sometimes it's hard to get there because this guy is quick and can run around. So Novak knows how to expose that, though. So it might not be necessary to go into details because sometimes, opening up the court the other way to the forehand can open the backhand side and so on. Absolutely spectacular forehand from Tirante. Some forehand this guy has. Incredible. 40 love. Yeah, serve and volley from Tirante. Love hold. Pressure back on Djokovic. Do you understand Serbian is close to Croatian? I will say that I'm a Russian speaker and I understand lots of Ukrainian. Maybe it's the same case. No. I know the difference between Russian and Ukrainian is huge. The difference between Croatian and Serbian is minimal. It's basically the same language. It used to be called Serbo-Croatian. There's a different dialect, and then there are a few different words here and there for certain things, but it's the same language. We understand each other with absolutely no problem at all. Same for like Bosnian, but Slovenian is different though. That's probably more applicable to the difference between Russian and Ukrainian. It's the difference between Croatian Serbian to Slovenian. That's a different language. Slavic language also, but different. And Djokovic 30 love. Yeah, I mean, I can understand some Slovenian. Yeah, I can. I mean, it's like it's very similar, but it's completely different. You know, I don't know how to. I don't know how to tell you. Like, I'm sure you know what I mean. And Djokovic should have first extended rally of this third set. Does do enough of that volley, had the whole court open. I think he might have tried to attempt a drop shot there, but he hit it way too long. And Tirante with the easy forehand down the line winner. Djokovic didn't even attempt to play that ball. You know, for energy conservation reasons. Down the line approach shot from Novak and an easy forehand volley into the open court. Novak holds. 2-1. Djokovic doing a lot better in the third set. That break helped a lot. Interesting. Tirante does not play with a dampener, and Djokovic does. Always find it interesting which players choose to play with the dampeners and which don't. I personally don't like dampeners, and I never use one. I always play without it. Nick, I watched all these live on 2X to catch you live and understand what happened in the match. I appreciate you, Keydon. I appreciate you. Yeah, for you guys just tuning in, it's been a super, super entertaining match. Djokovic the better player in the first set, clearly, but then some tough holds in the third, and especially that the 1-all hold and the 2-all hold completely destroyed him. Destroyed his body because very, very tough games, physical games. And he started going down to his knees at 1-all in the second set, and he basically was conserving energy for the rest of that second set, got broken, wasn't really trying on the return, rightfully so, saving his energy, and they left the court. And since they came back, Djokovic has been feeling a little bit better, I think. And there it is, love 15, Djokovic. Love 15. And remember what I said in the second set, like, if Djokovic recovers at some point in this match and plays better, this does not mean that he was faking all that in the second set. Because think of the logic of that. Because I know what's coming if Djokovic wins. It's going to be like the same trolls saying again he's faker. Think of the logic there. Like, he's going to fake being tired. Why? He won the first set. What? To lose the second set? Makes no sense. It would make more sense if it was down like a set and a break. But in this context, it makes zero sense. Did Rafa and Federer struggle like this at the end of their career physically? No, not like this. Yes, physically to the point where the body was destroyed, there were injuries, but I never saw Rafa out of gas in a match like this, never. You know, of course, when he played Novak in Australia, both of them were a little bit towards the end, that 6-hour match. But, you know, Novak is a little bit older, though, too. They didn't play as long. I know Federer did, but he had a very sporadic season, didn't play a lot of matches, and that eventually played his last match at Wimbledon against Hurkacz. And a very, very important point for Tirante there, down 15-30, with a strong forehand. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Laura. Appreciate you. I recognize you from the comments. Yeah, Cincy is tough, like you say. It's I was talking earlier. I think it's probably top 3 worst tournaments conditions-wise, I would say. Washington, D.C. is bad too, and Shanghai is pretty bad, but it's got to be top 3. Monster serve from Tirante. $141, guys. That's humongous. 40-30. And another monster serve from Tirante. And it's 2-all. Another big test for Djokovic right here. So far, he's been fine physically in this third set. He's still conserving energy where he can. You know, at the beginning of the match, I discussed Tirante's career, and I thought the Houston tournament was a breakthrough tournament for him, where he took out Ben Shelton. And this is the first year that he's in the top 100. He finished close to the top 100 in the last 3 years. He was top 25, top 125 year-end finish. So this right here is a huge opportunity for Tirante. He's gotta take this opportunity and leave it all on the court, make Novak play every ball to get him back to that physical state that he was in the second set. Because I think you can get Novak back there, but it'll take work. If the match continues at this particular pace, I think Djokovic has a chance of winning. Cross-court backhand rally. Looks like they're doing a drill. And Djokovic mimicking, move it around, move it around. It's 15-all. Laura, is that, you're saying Cincinnati has the top dew point and humidity levels in the summer? Is that in the whole nation? Djokovic misses the forehand. It's 15-30. He caught that too high, mimicking. He's making contact too high. That's a footwork thing, man. My shoulder is so toast. 15-30. Is Djokovic using an ice towel during changeovers? Yeah, of course. He even had an ice vest. He took a medical timeout in the second set. And he's doing everything possible in the changeovers to keep his body temperature down. Djokovic puts his arms up into the air. But, you know, these expressions from Novak between the points tells me he's feeling better. Because he wasn't doing any of that in the second set. He was just, like, so done physically. And he's complaining because he hit another forehand close to his body and out of position, second point in a row, and he's mimicking falling back. He was actually too close to him there. On the previous point, he hit it too high, so Djokovic looking to hit cleaner contact points on the forehand. And a big serve from Novak, 40-30. And a wild error from Tirante. On the backhand side, Novak holds 3-2. Guys, hang in there, I'll be right back. All right, 3-2, Djokovic. Tirante serving, and he lost a dampener, I think. Or he forgot to put on the dampener. Oh, he broke a string. Okay, my bad. He broke a string. He broke it on the bottom, which is weird. Wasn't a miss hit or anything like that. But very strong there from Tirante. Djokovic gives him a moon ball back. Keeps ripping the ball into the backhand corner of Djokovic and puts the short one away. 15-love. And Djokovic screaming at the box. Troitsky says, stay on your toes. Stay on your toes, he's telling them. Now, the fact that Novak is able to scream at the box, there's two things to say about that. First, I mean, it's a good from the standpoint of him having energy to be able to do that. Okay, so he's feeling better physically. But on the flip side, why would he risk expending energy on something like that? So that's actually a little bit of a mistake from Novak to waste his energy on screaming like that. 30-love. Now 40-love. Big serve. Tirante really showcasing his incredible power in this match. It's unbelievable serve and forehand speeds. It's crazy. Now in the first set, the forehand was a little bit more up and down, was misfiring quite a bit, but since then the forehand has cleaned up and he's missing far less on that side. How's Tirante's body language looking like? Look, first and foremost, he's been as fresh as a daisy this whole match. I don't see any sign of physical issues. And I think mentally, look, we can't see inside what's going on. Like, he hasn't had any anger outbursts, any negative interactions with the box. He's been pretty positive body language, but we don't know what's inside, right? So it's hard to say. But body language-wise, it's been great from Tirante the whole match. And he holds to love. 3-all. Djokovic serving. I think Tirante's job here is to make Novak work and just to not give him any free points. And you know what? That's the worst thing they can do, is dump a slice like that into the bottom of the net. You know, the slice of Tirante has been misfiring today. Remember early in the first, he missed one down the line. And since then, he's dumped some into the net. But again, this is the worst possible start for Tirante in this game. He just needs to refuse to miss right here, lock in and make Djokovic work. That's so funny. Drop shot from Novak. Tirante is there in no time. Drop shots back. Djokovic with the angle shot. And Djokovic running like a young man out there. And he's pumping up the crowd. Oh boy. I know what's coming if Novak wins this. I know what's coming in the comment sections. That's funny. You say, I think Novak gets the energy from screaming to his team. Yeah. I think so too, actually. I take back what I said. I think that heats him up. It pumps him up. What a forehand rip from Tirante. But again, the wrong shot. rather than trying to end the point, extend the point there, just make Novak hit the extra ball. $40 love, exactly what the doctor ordered for Novak. He's about to hold here to love, and he does hold to love with a big serve, and now he's 2 games away from this match. Physically doing fine. He recovered early in that, between the second and the third set, he was able to recover. Changed his clothes, went off the court into AC, got his body temperature down, came back fresh. Hasn't been a physically demanding match so far in the third. Short points, relatively speaking. You can put that blame on Tirante for not being able to make it more physical. He's been blasting too much. And it's going to be difficult now. Clearly, Novak is faking being 39, and he's actually a time-traveling 19-year-old. Typical. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Tirante is playing so much better than we thought. He found his rhythm. No, he's playing a fantastic match, but I'm just saying what needs to be done here to actually win this match. No, like I said, he showcased his talents here. Humongous serve, humongous forehand. He's done well, but to not be able to beat Novak at this physical state, I'm not saying it's easy to beat him at this physical state, but he had an opportunity here to win. He still does. But the way Novak is looking right now physically, I don't know, I'm leaning towards Novak a little bit now. How many times have we seen this? We've seen this a lot. That's why Novak is the GOAT. He's able to recover. That's a huge part of playing tennis, is recovering in many different ways. Tirante misses the first serve. Second serve kick, Djokovic with a cross-court return, and Tirante dumps the forehand into the net, love 15. That's the type of rally that Tirante needs to play. That's exactly what he should have done from the beginning of the third set, with the grunting, with the intensity. Turn this more into a clay court battle, make Novak play. That was a great point there from Tirante. A nice serve there into the body of Djokovic, 30-15. Do you think that for Tirante it's harder to win? Even Novak had a hard time because he knows who he's playing against. Yeah, there's both. Like, so it's hard because it's Novak, and it's also hard because we're playing a guy who looked out of it. So, think of the difficulty mentally. Like, Tirante is observing everything we're observing. Like, Novak looked completely done in the second set, toast. And then think of the difficulty then mentally, then all of a sudden in the third, oh, he's still there, he's still playing. That's tough to deal with, So the danger is to let the foot off the gas. And nice hold, by the way, from Tirante to 15. It's 4-all. The danger is to put the foot off the gas because you think you're done. You know, the guy's done. I'm done. I'm cruising through this. Oh, wait a second, you know. This other guy recovered. So you got to be careful. I do think Tirante employed the wrong tactics in this third set. But he's still here at 4-all, so not too late. You know, the slice backhand from Tirante has been poor in this match. Some mistakes, and this one he lets sit. He didn't hit that well at all, that slice. Middle of the court, slow, but he gets the error from Novak. It's fortunate there. The forehand error, and it's love 15. Big serve from Novak, goes long, second serve. And Novak with some unbelievable tennis, and he's gassed again. It's a monster second serve down the tee, and then a athletic forehand where he gets airborne. It runs back to the middle, and he's feeling it, and he's also hurt something. Maybe he's not gassed, maybe he hurt something. Yeah. He landed weird. Oh, yo. I saw the slow-mo. He landed weird there. He landed kind of on the heels, and he hurt maybe something in his back there. Oh, I know what that's like. Like he landing like that, and you get all the impact in your back. Unbelievable forehand, though, from Novak. And it's a big serve and a beautiful dropper from Novak. A great feel there. Tirante can't get to it, 30-15. I mean, he got to it, but he can't do anything with it. 30-15. 10-point tiebreaker at the end of a third set in Cincinnati. Ooh. What do you mean? No, normal. Regular tiebreak at 6-all. Oh, and Tirante goes for the body blast and apologizes. Hey, look, Djokovic comes in off a forehand approach. Hits it right into Tirante, and he goes to the body blast. All right. And it's 30-all. That's tough. That forehand is dangerous. Look at that. I mean, it wasn't even like, look, it's a passing shot from far back. I got no problem with this one. The only time I have a problem with this is if it's a ball that's an easy put-away shot that can be put anywhere in the court, and then you decide to go right at the guy. I got a problem with that. Like, that's what Nori did to Djokovic at Rome 2024, I think. And Djokovic was very upset. Turned around, and there was a thing with Shapovalov and Manarino in this tournament. I actually did record a segment on it. I decided to delete the whole thing. 30-all. Djokovic serving 4-all in the third. A huge point right here, guys. This is a humongous point. And it's a rally. And Djokovic overhits the forehand. Breakpoint Tirante. Again, he fell back a little bit on that forehand, but that was forced by Tirante with a nice deep shot. Break point chance. Here it is. No, Manarino hit Shapovalov. It was like a forehand from the half court. Shapovalov was at the net. I'll tell you about it in the changeover here. Let's watch this point first. Djokovic inside and forehand comes to the net. Djoko smash converted. Djokovic saves break point. So yeah, Manarino had a forehand. half court, could have put it anywhere. He ripped it at Shapovalov. Shapovalov got very angry and then retaliated and hit this running forehand pass, blasted it right into Manarino. So that was that. It's all over Instagram. Djokovic ripping the forehand here, spreading it nicely in this rally. Gets a deep backhand. Does a good job with it. Back to ripping forehands and spreading the ball down the line. Backhand goes long from Djokovic. And it's another breakpoint chance for Tirante. Djokovic just sailed that a little bit. Hard to say why he missed it, but it didn't look like he committed 100% to that backhand. Steered it just a tad. What an opportunity here for Tirante to serve for the match. Add out. Second serve. And Tirante gets tight. He gets tight. Steers the return long. Got jammed a little bit there. Did not move at all there. Did not do any setup steps. Get himself in position. The nerves got the better of him on that particular return. And Tirante hitting well. Djokovic with an incredible cross-court forehand. And Djokovic dumps the forehand into the net. Hits the top of the tape there, but a great point by Tirante. Fantastic hitting. Top of the tape there for Djokovic on that forehand. Add out. Break point Tirante again. Third chance. Oh. Big T serve from Djokovic and an absolute blast. He saves break point with an inside-out forehand blast. Wow. Djokovic decides to hit a drop shot on that half-court forehand off a big T serve and misses that thing. Could have ripped the forehand. That was a very easy shot, relatively speaking. Great serve down the tee. And the ball was too high for a drop shot. And he makes a mess out of it. Misses it wide and long. Break point number 4 for Tirante. Down the line, backhand from Novak. Drop shot down the line from Novak, goes into the net. There's the break for Tirante. That drop shot has not been working for Novak all day. There's the second one he missed on an important point. And again, it's probably a bailout shot. He's probably tired, gassed. And Tirante will serve for the match against Djokovic. Wow. He is looking better physically, though, compared to the second set, Djokovic. But, you know, he ended up giving it to Tirante, to be really frank with you. Tirante did not earn this. I mean, you get what I'm saying. Of course, he earned it, but a couple of those breakpoints, he was tight. You know, a lot of those breakpoints in the second set, he was tight. But that deuce point, the big serve from Novak and the half-court forehand, he missed that drop shot and then misses another drop shot on breakpoint. That's what I'm saying. Like, he made it very comfortable for Tirante at the end there to get the break. But look, you have to put yourself in a position to make the break. So not taking anything away from Tirante there. And interestingly, Novak doesn't use the full length of the changeover. That's weird. He walks over there early before Tirante. Tirante is still sitting down. Novak's already standing back there. As you can interpret this as Novak conceding the match already. And Novak can do this sometimes. The mentally strongest player of all time, sometimes he will not do things that are mentally strong. Like, he will do this stuff, not sit down on the changeover, low intensity. It happens sometimes, even at this time of his career too. Especially during the clay court season over the last, maybe not this year, but 24 and 25, there were matches like this too. Tirante with a big serve, forehand put away, 15-love. And an incredible forehand on the run from Tirante. Off a down-the-line backhand from Djokovic. That was a beautiful shot there. The Tirante forehand is something else. That's an incredible running forehand winner because it was very defensive. He was literally on the run, completely sideways. There was no rotation on that forehand. All arm, follows that up by an ace out wide. How about serving out the match like this against Novak? Incredible. And there it is. Game, set, match for Tirante. Off a backhand error, return error from Djokovic. Incredible. Wow. What a match. Well, Djokovic brought the entertainment factor, like he always does, that's for sure. And Tirante showcased his talents. He's an amazing player. The serve is huge. The forehand is incredible. And he's put himself on the radar right here. You know, a lot of people might not have been familiar with Tirante. You know, it's the first year that he's competing in the top 100. He's 25, so he's not one of these like next-gen guys. He's been on the tour for a while, but he's been outside the top 100. This year, he certainly will not finish outside the top 100. He'll finish inside the top 100 for the first time, and I think the potential is sky high for this guy. It's an incredible athlete, incredible ball striker. And Djokovic, what can I tell you? It makes no sense to enter this tournament. I mean, I've said it many times now already. I don't understand why he even came here, Novak. Okay, he got a match now. He got a match, but I don't think it's going to be that much of a benefit, to be honest. It's, you know, people are saying painful to watch. It's not painful to watch at all. It was super entertaining. What are you talking about? he got gassed in that second set. The conditions are tough, so I'm wondering why he would end, when he didn't play this tournament last year and he made the semis. And he made the semis in Wimbledon, just like he did last year. I don't get it. But look, Djokovic recovered in that third set, and he was okay physically. Wasn't at his best, of course, but he was okay. Nothing like he was in the second set, and Tirante was able to take it away from him. Stayed strong on the serve. And all the credit goes to Tirante. All the credit goes to Tirante. And Djokovic goes into the US Open but does he go into the US Open in a worse state or better state? I don't think it matters that much, to be quite honest with you. I think US Open is probably going to be more comfortable for Novak unless he gets a nightmare schedule and it's extremely hot, which I don't think it will be. Like here, it's going to be, especially in the second week, or if you play at night, it's going to be okay. I don't think it's going to be as physically taxing. But one thing that I said before the match, and now I can say it even stronger, the guys are now ready to beat Novak. They go into matches against Novak with the belief that they can win. And more guys now can take out Novak Djokovic. This has definitely been the big change this year compared to previous years. And that's even the case at Grand Slams, but to a lesser degree, of course, still. Because you got to win 3 sets against Novak. There's not that much evidence that guys can do it at the Grand Slam. Fonseca played the best match of his life. So we go into the US Open. Does this matter that much? I don't think so, to be honest with you. I still wouldn't underestimate Novak. But, there's the potential, depending on the draw. There's no point really talking about it now. It depends on the draw. Simone, hold on. We're almost done, okay? We're almost done. I don't know what your problem is. We have to wait for the draw, and then we can talk about it. But, well, this was certainly very entertaining. And I'm not going to live stream any more matches today. That's it. And I will see you guys in another live stream, potentially tomorrow. Let me check if the schedule is out already for tomorrow, and I can tell you. Make sure that you subscribe to Intuitive Tennis, hit that notification bell so you get alerted when I release new videos and when I go live, because I will cover this tournament in wrap-up videos too. But tomorrow is going to be Sunday. And who plays? You got Rybakina, Swiatek. Swiatek at 12:30. I'll probably do Swiatek. Let's see who else. We got Sabalenka, Goff, Samsonova. What? What a nightmare draw for Goff. Got Sonego, Tiafoe. I got Stevens, Potapova, nightmare. No, that's going to be at 3:40. Sorry, never mind. Kostyuk, Cannon will be good. Let's see here. Let me see. I don't know yet. Let me see. Let me see what's going on, guys. But in any case, Novak Djokovic out in his first match here at Cincinnati. And Simone got food several times. Let me tell you. Simone got food in the middle of this match. He got food before the first match, the Ala match. So, it's not that. He's just I don't know. He's demanding. He wants something. I gotta figure out what it is. I think it's me getting off live. I think that's what it is. So in any case, guys, I don't quite know what I'm going to be streaming. I think I'll probably do Iga tomorrow, but I'll see you on the next one. How about that? Take care, guys.